Hello guys, happy new year to you all. I want to apologise in advance that I haven't got any videos out over the last few weeks. Things have just been really busy, a bit slow as well in terms of the cars, so there's not really been much content that I've been able to film in terms of the cars. But I can promise you this year is going to be packed with content. I'm going to try and get a video a week out at the very minimum at least. So I'll keep that flowing over for you guys this year. I really want to focus on the channel growth, business growth, and really pick things up. So yeah, let's get started. I sold the Astra H last week, well, a couple of days ago at the weekend. If you look on my channel, you'll see the last video, although I think it was the second to last video, where I picked that up. It was a little bit of a tough seller. And the reason for that being that in the time that I had it, the market really crashed. So the values of them just absolutely dropped. Now, given what I paid for it, I obviously didn't want to take a massive loss. It did have quite a short MOT, and although it was low mileage and ran really well, and it drove absolutely amazingly, unfortunately what I was asking for it was the higher end of the market. There was cars with a fresh MOT for a similar price, but sometimes you have to know what you've got and you've got to stick to your guns. Although in business interest, obviously you've got to be really careful with them choices that you make. Now, go back 6-7 months ago, I was flying Astra H's in and out of the door. I was buying them for good money, fixing them, repairing them, whatever, and selling them for really strong money. In the last 4 to 6 weeks, the value of them has just absolutely collapsed. So good news is we got that out of the door, pretty much broke even on it, didn't make a profit, but again, I didn't make a massive loss, so I'm not really stressing too much over that. Things move forward, you make it back in other ways, so it's not a problem. But on the good news, we have picked up something else. It's a bit newer. It's quite a decent car, to be quite honest. Actually, it drives really well. So we're going to do a video on that, and I've got some good information for you in this video, guys. So keep your ears peeled, listen out to what I'm saying, and we're going to have a look around this car. It's a late 2011 Astra J. It's the 1.7 EcoFlex, 110 brake horsepower. Really economical cars, guys. They are so cheap to run. I mean, your average around town is 60 to 70 miles to the gallon. As soon as you hit the motorway, you can see anywhere in the region of 100 miles to the gallon. £35 a year road tax, quite a cheap insurance bracket. It's actually, on the overall, a really tidy car. I'm really happy with it. There is a little bit of service history, which we'll go into details of shortly. But yeah, I'm really happy with this purchase. I got it for a very good price. There's also a reason I got it for the price I got it for, which we'll go into. But on the overall, for what I paid for it, I think there's a fairly decent margin in it. I may have a sale on Friday, someone that actually wanted the black Astra, but I said to them, I said, look, for a couple of £100 more, I've got this. It's a really good car. It'll do you much better than the other Astra. It's a lot cheaper to run, actually. So yeah, he's seeing if he can raise the extra couple of £100 towards this, and we'll see what happens with that on Friday. If not, I'll get it a quick wash and get it listed up. But yeah, we'll have a look around it now. I'll show you the service history. I'll explain why I'm quite happy with the history on this car, because they do have a few little gremlins, these, unfortunately, as any car does. But they're sort of all been covered, and then we will go into a few more details on the car, have a little walk around, and I will show you what's what with it. So a lot of the paperwork has names and addresses on, so I'm not going to show you it. It doesn't have the original service book with the stamps, but there is a lot of receipts to back up services, so I can't show you a lot of it due to the fact of obviously data protection and confidentiality. But there is stamps pretty much from service records, sorry, pretty much from 2016-17, going up to recently. Now, there is a reason why the paperwork's only showing from 2016-17, and I will get on to that. But like I say, the main things that I'm concerned about I do have, so I'll flip that around. So this bit of paper here, you will see turbocharger supply and fitting. that was not cheap at £860 for the unit, and the fitting also came with engine oil, air filter, oil filter, so a basic service. Does have 24 months warranty, so that's still running. This was done in May 2022, so that's still running for another few months, which is great. Now, the reason why I'm so happy about this is these cars are known to suffer from turbos blowing. It's quite a small engine, so the turbo can take quite a lot of stress, and you do, at around the 100 to 120,000 mile mark, you are going to expect to have to change the turbos. Then we've got more services. Like I say, there is a fair bit of paperwork. There's MOT certificates. There's a fair bit of work that's been done over the time of this car. We do have a good MOT, which is until 30th of the 11th this year, so really long MOT. We've got 11 months there, 10 months, 11 months, which is great. The tyres that you can see, there is a tyre on the advisory that has been done. Two brand new tyres were also put on the day after the MOT, I believe. So again, that's really great. Our mileage is, when we get some focus, if it will focus, there we go, we are at 150,341 miles, so not a lot of mileage. For if you maintain these vehicles, the mileage is great. Again, the service history is key, and the reason the service history is key when you're buying older vehicles like this is it gives you an idea of the maintenance that the vehicle has gone through, and therefore give you an idea of the reliability. So if you're picking up a car that's on a slightly higher mileage, especially diesels require more maintenance. I will do a video on that soon as to the difference between petrol and diesel and what suits you, your driving style, and your journeys better, so I won't go too much into depth with it. But with diesels, if you're using them for town runabouts, they tend to clog up, they tend to need a lot more maintenance, because diesel is a heavy oil, so it creates a lot more carbon build-up in the engine. The engine needs to operate at hot temperatures for longer times to keep them engines clear. They require heavier servicing, more regular servicing than a petrol vehicle, so you're going to find that diesels will come with a bit more maintenance as they get older. So again, I try and buy more diesels than I do petrols. I'm a diesel guy through and through, hence the name of the channel, as you guys probably have imagined. But with diesels especially, service history is key, because it's going to give you an indication of how healthy that engine is, the life that it's had, and how well it's been maintained. So again, with this, like I say, the service history up to 2016-17 is missing. There is a reason behind that. I'm not too worried, because I have an indication that it has been well serviced, and it's certainly been well serviced since, excuse me. So again, I'm quite happy with this car. It's had a lot of the major work done. The cam belt has been done again in about 2017 or 18. There's a sticker under the bonnet. It's quite cold and wet out there today, so I probably won't go under the bonnet and show you, but there is definitely a sticker for the cam belt there that's been done, and water pump. So again, the big maintenance has been done on this car. If it's kept up with regular servicing, probably every 8,000 miles, it will continue to be a good runner. You may have noticed there is a little yellow light on the dashboard. That's for glow plug relay, so a 50 quid part. If the guy on Friday doesn't come and take it, I've already spoke to him and said to him that this is what it is. I'm giving you it at a bit of a cheaper price than I was going to list it for, due to the fact that he wanted the other car. If he doesn't come, then I will do the glow plug relay, and I will then list it up. But yeah, it's really tidy inside. They're really spacious cars. I'll pull it forward, we'll have a little look at inside the cabin space and so on, then I will jump out and give you a little walk around of the car. So overall, they have a really nice interface. This feels so much more modern than the previous generation Astra, the Astra H. The Astra H finished in 2010. These started coming in 2010, but just the whole inside, it feels so much more modern. And I think even now, 11-12 years on, the cabins are still really modern and up to date. You haven't got the infotainment in the middle, but they come with auxiliary as standard. Some of the higher spec models will come with Bluetooth, but overall they're a really nice spacious cabin to be in. There is a lot of space inside, which is always great. So as you can see, really spacious cars. These are just some horrible leather seat covers. I will be taking them off, but the seats are in a good condition underneath, so I think the previous owner just had them on for comfort. It is a 5-door. Again, quite a lot of room in the back. The seats are pushed quite far back, so looks a little bit smaller than it is, but they are definitely more spacious than the previous generation. We have a nice big boot as well. So plenty of boot space in there to get your luggage in. So again, on the overall, really nice car to be in. Now, before I do a quick walk around for you, the reason I got this so cheap is because it's a category D write-off. Category D, nothing to worry about. It's non-structural. It will affect the value of the car slightly. I've got a copy of the report, so I'm going to show you guys how to do one of them, what to look for, and it's so important that you do your checks when you're buying a car. I do want to say before I put the clip in, I'm not sponsored by anybody. It's a company that I've always used. I personally find them one of the cheaper ones on the market with extensive checks. If the car has been in any salvage, 99% of the time there is pictures, so you've got an idea and an indication of what the damage was and how bad it was. But again, category D is non-structural. It's usually bodywork related, so I will put a screen recording of the salvage report in now. But look at that, look at the pictures, and then when we walk around you'll see the repair has been done to a very high standard. So this website I use, vcheck.uk. I do the £4.99 report for an extra few quid. You can also check finance, but as you see here, it gives you basic information of the car, insurance write-off, salvage check, MOT, VIN, last 5, engine number, and so on. It's really great. But as I scroll down here, there was a little red flag up the top that said salvage and insurance write-off information. So you'll see here, insurance write-off category D vehicle damage, gives you the date of the loss, and then these are the pictures from the salvage yard. So if you click the link, this gives you an indication of the damage that the vehicle had, so you can then inspect that yourself to make sure that the vehicle has been repaired to an acceptable and high standard, so you don't worry when you're buying it. So, as I say, really nice looking cars. Still now quite modern. They're not the original alloys, they are still vauxhall alloys, vauxhall original alloys, but they're not the ones that come with the car. They normally came with steel wheels and hubcaps. But it idles over really quietly. It does have lightly tinted front windows, sort of slightly darker rear window tinting. But bodywork is really tidy. There's a tiny little scuff down here, but to be fair, give that a wipe and that'd buff out quite nicely. So we're not worried about that at all. But no horrible knocks, dents, bangs. Generally, as I was saying, really tidy car. And again, I picked it up from Stourbridge, which is about a 45-minute drive away from where I am. Drive back, lovely, really smooth, pulls well in all the gears, no noises, no horrible suspension knocks, drives really straight on the road, handles really well. There's no sort of swaying or anything like that indicates any suspension issues. So yeah, again, like I say, really happy with the purchase of the car. If you have made it all the way to the end, thank you for watching. Give me a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, everything really helps. Like I say, this year I aim to get so much more content out for you guys, minimum video a week, and the more of you that like, subscribe and comment, it really helps me out, pushes me up in the algorithm. Eventually we can then look at getting monetized. When that happens, that can then go towards making even more content for you guys. So it's just all about growth this year. I really massively appreciate the support. So here's 2024, we're gonna smash it. Peace.